Nate's broke. Not really, he just owes a lot of money. And we see Cal and Jules in this episode. And let's be honest, we meet a character that we probably won't see again. Her name is Angel. She was the friend of the girl that OD'd the other episode. So yeah, she had problems. And Alamo sent her to get rehab. And it was fishy. And I don't think we're gonna see her ever again. Probably a mention from Alamo or somebody about what happened to her, but I doubt we see her again. This is Euphoria season 3, episode 2 on HBO Max. And we got a lot to talk about in this episode. Let me know how you felt about the episode, because to me it was kind of not as on fire as other seasons, but it still had interesting things in it. Let me know. By the way, you know she half R-word. Can't say it on YouTube. That is what Laurie family told Alamo about her. And I was like, no, she's not. Is she? Because to be fair, me and my boy were talking about this the other day. She just does whatever the person in front of her does or tells her to do. She just goes with it. Like, who would be like, when you run, normally you put a bottle on your head at the end of the last episode, but she just does it. And I'm like, no, she's not right. No. By the way, it led to a funny conversation to me, because this whole episode was obsession over the word pig, because in the conversation between Laurie and Alamo, he said, I lost a girl, so I'm taking one, in the clean version. And she was like, pig? And my man got upset. He brought it up throughout the episode. He brought it up to Marsha and Lynch. And Marsha and Lynch like, oh boy, I don't care about this. Was it the tone or something? Why are you mad over pig? Niggas love bacon. That was crazy to me, by the way. To the point where at the end of the episode, he actually sent her a pig that was on the floor and said, remember the Alamo. And I'm like, that is the most random thing to ever do. From pig to remember the Alamo, I guess, because he said he put her on and that's the only reason she's successful, because she was just a user, kind of like Rue. By the way, in that same scene, let's talk about this. The first time we see Faye in the episode is toward the end, and she's getting cracked by old boy in front of a Nazi sign. In this world, is Rue half black? Because it's kind of awkward. Maybe you can't tell in the show. Maybe they confused. But she was in front of a Nazi sign getting cracked. That threw me off. I'm like, girl, you kind of off too. But why did Rue leave her? She's just there. Like, you brung her to be a mule, and you just brung her with you. And I bragged about her being a better friend than me, but now Rue just kind of left her there, and she probably not going back to get her. How we gonna solidify that? I don't know. It was just one of them random things that happened in this episode, but the story of Rue is kind of less interesting than the other stories, but we focused on it, but it's kind of just random, right? And you just start noticing little things that Rue do because she's not like conscious of herself, which led to the beginning of what we were talking about. But she just left her friend in a place and she's not going back. By the way, Faye is the reason they in there, because she didn't clean off the scale, which led to the thing, which led to Rue to being here now. So it's kind of Faye's fault. And because the old boy didn't teach her that, it's a whole bunch of, it's a lot going on with Laura's family. But let's get more into what the episode's about. Rue and Maddy is yapping at the beginning of the episode. Of course, Rue is saying she missed Jules, as she always does. And Maddy tells her she's gonna meet Cassie for the first time since high school. They haven't spoken. She randomly DM'd her. Now, the crazy part about this is, I find it interesting that Maddy still likes Cassie after now Cassie's dating her ex-boyfriend, but they kind of liked each other too. So it's a weird relationship going on that they kind of have like this three-way weird thing together, because now she's invited to the wedding, and I don't know how that's going to work. I'm pretty sure that's going to lead to a lot of drama. By the way, we also find out that Maddy had a chance to be rich with this girl named Caitlin, and she kind of just didn't take it. she kind of just like accepted the fact that her boss told her not to. And we found out she made $700,000 in a month, which if she got 10% of that, that'd be $7,000 that month instead of the $822, which she got. And now she's still an assistant, but she could have been the boss in that situation, which is very interesting to me that Maddy missed that opportunity. But will she take it with Cassie? What do y'all think? Y'all think she gonna make Cassie big? Because she did agree when they met in the poolside, which they both were trying to act richer than they are and trying to act cool and drinking liquor. And Cassie was like, I miss you, and I made the mistake of my love of my life giving up the other one. And then said, I'm sorry. And then Maddy just said, I forgive you, because she trying to make a play on Cassie. But Cassie, after the third drink, you know how you do when you drink. Thank God, finally, that's what I want to talk about. Cassie is still using this girl. She always used Maddy, and Maddy really loved this girl. And Maddy's a user, which is interesting. How Maddy keeps getting used and she a user. But it's interesting. By the way, let's go back to that. Do you think Maddy gonna get a success? Because it's some interesting poses in this thing that we're gonna talk about in the screenshots of the previews that leads to Cassie being in weird situations trying to get rich over this attention. But we're gonna get to that in just a second. But the entire Cassie is wild. The whole situation of everything she's doing. And Maddy asked her in the episode, who are you? And she's like, who am I? I could be anybody. Because she doesn't know who she is. She just likes attention. And later on in the episode, we see that they actually come talk about the baby, that she took the baby pic and all the weird doll pics and all the pics she do. She put like ice cream on her nipples. I'm just saying. But she go over there and her friend, she tells her friend, shows the picture. Her friend like, this is weird. And it is weird. Because why are you doing a baby pic? That's strange. So she tells her husband, which tells Nate, and Nate makes her delete the OnlyFans. She didn't delete the OF. But Nate tells her to, and she kind of hints that she does to make him happy. Because he doesn't like secrets. Because his family always had secrets. Nate with these stupid things. By the way, we saw Cal. And Cal asked him how he's doing. And we find out Cal said this wild thing about how he's not gay, but he's a pitcher, not a catcher. So he can't be. It's something wrong with Cal. But he did question her too about her doing the thing and being a sexual deviant, because he is one as well. Which led to me to think about how this show was actually covering OF culture, and not just OF culture, just that culture, sugar baby culture and everything. And how you got an example of Caitlyn, who was just found by a woman taking a normal pics. And then as more success comes, she started doing more risque things to make more money. And then you have a person like Cassie who's just desperate for attention. Then you have somebody like Angel, who was a stripper whose friend passed away, and we had this whole situation with that. But we learn more about how she's just desperate for money and how they found him and how she wants to go somewhere. And how that culture kind of, I don't want to say predatorizes people like that, but it is like an easy way to do it. And it's not just OF. It's what we doing here is social media, anything, trying to get famous off of it. It seems like an easy thing to do where you just garner a lot of attention and you feel important and you feel seen and people like you. As Cassie brought it up, when I'm at a pool party, all the women are jealous of me. It's this thing. Or like I said, the more you get it, the easier it is to make money and the better your lifestyle feels. You can afford anything you want, especially now when you're struggling. The economy is weird right now. Gas is high. So when you get the opportunity to make some money, you gotta do it, right? And we had the situation with Angel. Like I said, probably not gonna see her again. And Nate, of course, he is $550K in debt. He owes this man $100K, and he is lying his butt off to his friend, trying to get them into invest by the end of the week. Oh, $100K is nothing. I'll have that by the end of the week. I just need you to invest, because once you invest in me, we're going to have it done. That's going to lead to Cassie overall doing it, because he's going to get real desperate. It's not Friday yet. When it gets closer to Friday, how much money can you make in a day? I need $100K. Get out there, girl. Desperation makes people do things, which I'm asking. I want to ask y'all too to end it. One of my thoughts on ending this video: is Nate really better than Cassie? Because he's gonna get desperate. He's lying to his friends. he does these things to keep up this image. He lying to people to keep up this image for this attention so he can get richer. She's doing it for Flora. He just wants to please her. But still, you're kind of still just manipulating and doing whatever to get over. So is he judging Cassie? Is he right for that? Because she just wants 50K of Flora. And you want to buy her 50K of Flora, but y'all just doing it different ways. But you don't want to be embarrassed. Because you wouldn't have said nothing if your friend didn't say nothing. And by the way, why is Cassie gossiping to the rich girl who don't really like her? Who's gonna snitch and tell everybody in town that you doing crazy photos? She don't know you. She's not your friend. She's not Maddy or Rue or somebody you grew up with who will just hold it down and don't know nobody. She's from the neighborhood. She's gonna gossip. Shout out to them, by the way, for lying on that gossip too. Just straight up lying. Just making up things. Because I don't know who the neighbor is they blame, but she's not invited to the wedding no more. She is not. But the biggest thing I want to talk about the episode is we see Jules again. I was excited about seeing Jules, and Jules doing her old thing. By the way, Rue is still lost. She like, I'm finna take a bath, and just sits on and rubs the wall. And she like, all right, I'm finna go. Hey, no, girl, join me. Join me, girl. Rue gonna get in trouble. Rue, like I said, Rue follows whatever, and it's dangerous. She just goes with whatever going. That's the episode. Let me know your thoughts. Anything I missed that you want to talk about, put in the comments and I'll discuss it with you. Like and subscribe, hit that notification bell. It's the beginning of the week. So if you have that hype button, please use it on the Keep It 99 channel. We got a lot of news going on. I appreciate y'all for watching. Peace.
OVR.